Welcome to Weird Historian. Today, we're opening the oldest photo album in American history. These aren't just old photos, they're living proof of who we were and how far we've come. Let's travel back to the earliest days of the United States like you've never seen before. A mainstay of late 1800s circuses, the knife-throwing target girl. African-American buffalo soldiers, some wearing buffalo robes, Montana, late 1800s. American troops in Cuba during the Spanish-American War, 1899. An 1890 horse-drawn ambulance, Baltimore. An early American train, 1850s. Appalachian folklife. Boy playing with toy train, 1890. Building the Brooklyn Bridge, 1870s. Bullard Winery, Anaheim, California, 1885. California frontiersman Seth Kinman on his grizzly bear chair that he presented to President Andrew Johnson, 1860s. California gold seekers digging at Spanish Flat, 1852. Colorado Gold Rush Store, 1859. Constructing the U.S. Treasury Building, Washington, D.C., 1861. Cowboys bathing after 3 months on the cattle drive. Crew fixing the street in the middle of an old West boomtown. Dog sled mail delivery service, Michigan, 1870. Feeding the Teams, Placerville, California, 1860s. Female Scout of the Old West, 1886. 5 cents a night lodging in New York City, 1889. Horse-drawn street cleaner, 1890. Immigrants on board ship coming into Ellis Island, New York, late 1800s. Irish immigrant clam diggers on Boston Wharf in 1882. Iroquois musicians from about 1880. John Y. Nelson, scout and driver of the Deadwood stagecoach with Native American man, 1800s. Jug and Harmonica Band, Florida, 1880s. Lady playing 9-string banjo, probably the 1860s. Legendary exotic dancer Little Egypt at about the time she performed at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Lincoln's funeral procession passing through Columbus, Ohio. Little girl on a rocking horse, 1850s. Making the flame of the Statue of Liberty in Paris, 1876. Mealtime at Hobo Jungle, 1895. Medical student or anthropologist with a collection of skulls, 1850. mowing sheep meadow in Central Park in the mid-1800s with the help of camels. Navajo silversmith, New Mexico, 1880s. Newsies and bootblacks shooting craps on the mean streets of America, 1874. Oklahoma pioneers are seen in their dugout house. Old West butcher shop, San Bernardino, California, 1875. Pioneer wagon train on the Oregon Trail making its way through Ute Pass. Pioneers, covered wagons, and oxen crossing the Arkansas River at Great Bend, Kansas in the 1800s. Pretzel vendors on the streets of New York City in the 1880s. Public execution of horse thieves. Rag men of old New York, 1896. Rare photo of Confederate Commander Robert E. Lee looking tired, muddy, and miserable. Seems like the selling of hardware and tinware is merely a sideline business at this 1870s Dodge City, Kansas store. Selling sponges on the streets of New York City in the late 1800s. Sherman's men tearing up railroad tracks in Atlanta, 1864. Sitting Bull and Buffalo Bill Cody, 1885. Slave playing a homemade fiddle outside of his meager cabin, 1860. Slaves returning from the cotton fields in the American South, early 1860s. Soda jerk pouring a drink for a customer at a soda fountain, 1890. Strange photo of cider salesman wearing blackface. Successful turkey hunt. Teacher and barefoot children at their Michigan one-room schoolhouse, 1880. Texas cowboy chuck wagon in the 1880. That old rivalry of chicken versus boy. The fantastic reading room at the old Detroit Public Library. The first oil well drilled in the USA by Colonel Edwin Drake near Titusville, Pennsylvania, in 1859. The Kickapoo Indian Medicine Show in the 1800s. Thomas Edison's Black Maria Movie Studio in West Orange, New Jersey, 1892. 3 Union drummer boys who lived through 9 Civil War battles posing here in front of a building in Fort Harrison, New York City. U.S. Geological Survey lunching at the Chuck Wagon, Wyoming Territory, 1870. Union prisoners receiving rations at Fort Sumter, 1864. Union prisoners of war, Andersonville Prison, Georgia. Union soldiers, one pointing a revolver at another man's head. Union troops building a stockade during the Civil War, Alexandria, Virginia. Vigilante justice in the Old West. Wisconsin loggers in camp with horses and oxen, 1890. Women in the Klondike Gold Rush, late 1890s. Wyatt Earp dealing at one of the Oriental Saloon's faro tables, with Doc Holliday on his right. Tombstone, Arizona, 1881. Young Henry Ford, top row, third from the right, when he was an engineer with the Edison Illuminating Company of Detroit, 1892. Huntress Gusty Wallahan standing over her trophy mule deer in 1895. A young girl working as a spinner in a Georgia cotton mill, 1909. All-American Soapbox Derby in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, 1940. America's first astronauts, April 9th, 1959. American anthropologist and ethnographer Francis Densmore records mountain chief of the Blackfoot tribe in 1916 for the Bureau of American Ethnology. American GI shaving in foxhole, World War II. Astronaut John Glenn climbing aboard the Friendship 7 space capsule on his way to orbit the Earth, February 20th, 1962. At the site of the monument to the 7th Cavalry on the Crow Indian Reservation, Montana, 1927. Aviator Charles Lindbergh lands in Paris after the first solo crossing of the Atlantic, May 21st, 1927. Boy holding large turkey, early 1900s. Brick making in Georgia, 1910. Buffalo Bill Cody and his Wild West show riding through downtown Los Angeles, 1903. Building that backyard atomic bomb shelter, 1960. Carousel wagon with piano or calliope, Brooklyn, 1910. Chain gang convicts in mobile prison wagons, North Carolina, 1910. Child labor, 5-year-old boy working on a tobacco farm in 1916. Child using hand pump, Oklahoma, 1939. Children of a migrant fruit worker during the Depression, Berrien County, Michigan. Civilian Conservation Corps temporary camp in Summit Lake, Wisconsin, 1933. Coffee roaster man in the streets of Little Italy, New York City, 1910. Constructing the Panama Canal, locks and gates, 1913. Contributing peach pits used to filter poison out of gas warfare, 1918. Decommissioned streetcars awaiting destruction in Los Angeles, 1956. dreaming about the toys in this Christmas display window, 1910. Eskimo Camp, Nome, Alaska, 1916. Female guards on duty at the Navy Ordnance Plant in Detroit undergoing pistol and rifle training, 1942. 4 tons of dynamite are detonated during the early construction of the Hoover Dam in the 1930s. General George Patton's dog, Willie, mourning his master's death, December 21st, 1945. Geronimo in top hat, driving his Locomobile Model C in 1905. Girl listening to beautiful-looking Edison phonograph, 1910. Give your horse a nice cool shower in the summer heat of the city, early 1900s. Goat carriage ride through Brooklyn's Prospect Park in the 19th century. Greenwich Village Fair hot dog stand, 1920s. Harley-Davidson holding cell, 1921. Home dentistry in America in the 1920s. Immigrant widow and son rolling cigarettes in a New York City tenement in 1909. Indian motorcycle outfitted with a Colt machine gun, 1917. Jones, family daredevils sword fighting on the edge of the Times Square Hotel, New York City, 1925. Kids cooling off by licking blocks of ice during 1911 heat wave, New York City. Kids cooling off in fire hydrant spray in New York City, 1940s. Kids could ride the giant turtles at the Kansas City Zoo in the 1950s. Kids watching baseball game at Brooklyn's Ebbets Field through a gap under the metal gate in right center field, early 1900s. Quackiootl woman gathering abalone in Washington, 1900s. Leader of the temperance movement, Carrie Nation, wielding the axe that she busted up saloons with during the early 1900s. Listening to the radio in the 1920s. Living conditions for many families during the Depression. Log Roadhouse near Valdez, Alaska, 1900. Lots of interesting people in this pic. Magician and renowned escape artist, Houdini, about to enter the Chinese water torture cell, 1910. Mannequins survive a 1950s nuclear test in the Nevada desert. Marshall Field's department store, elaborate Christmas display, Chicago, 1940. Merry-go-round, early 1900s. Migrant family from Arkansas playing folk songs at a Farm Security Administration emergency migratory camp in Calipatria, California, 1939. Miss America, Margaret Gorman, 1922. Mount Rushmore, under construction, working on Lincoln's face. September 16, 1937. Native American family in Oklahoma Territory listening to a Victrola, 1900. Native American switchboard operator, 1925. New York City Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia hacks away at confiscated slot machines to be destroyed and dumped into New York Harbor, 1934. Nez Perce War Dance Ceremony, 1900. North greets South at the 50th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, 1913. Old School Barbells, New York City, 1940s. On December 1st, 1913, Ford Motor Company introduced the first moving assembly line. Orville and Wilbur Wright, with their second powered airplane on Huffman Prairie, Dayton, Ohio, 1904. Outlaws Bonnie and Clyde, early 1930. Painters on the Brooklyn Bridge, 1914. Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, 1901. People drinking water from a street pump in New York City, early 1900s. Playing hopscotch in the streets of New York City in 1947. Police testing early version of bulletproof vest, Washington, D.C., 1923. President Johnson driving an amphibious amphicar at his Texas ranch, 1965. Prospector and his best friend outfitted and ready to strike out for the Alaska goldfields in about 1900. Rail cars that functioned as temporary mobile housing and for supplies that followed loggers into the forested wilds of north-central Pennsylvania during the late 19th century. San Francisco earthquake, 1906. Scrounging for loose change through a New York City street grate during the Depression. Sergeant Alvin C. York, the most famous American soldier of World War I, being greeted by his mother on his return home to Pall Mall, Tennessee, 1919. Skater salesgirl, probably from the 1910. Soldiers of the 44th U.S. Volunteer Infantry Regiment during Philippine-American War, 1900. Southern Ohio family showing off their new washing machine, 1911. Street pavers at work in St. Louis, 1906. Tattoo parlor, 1942. Teenager drinking an extra-large milkshake, Lincoln, Nebraska, 1953. That old-time religion, immersion baptism, probably the 1920s. The House of David baseball team where beards and long hair were the norm, 1916. The very first McDonald's, San Bernardino, California, 1948. This is how they disposed waste in the 19th century, dumped directly into the river. Thomas Edison power napping on his lab bench, 1911. Traveling watch and jewelry salesman T.J. Thompson in a dog sled at a lumber camp in Ojibwa, Wisconsin, 1910. Two sailors celebrating the end of World War II. U.S. Army tank plant in Detroit, World War II. U.S. naval aviator eating ice cream, World War II. Underground opium den, New York City, 1925. University of Kentucky, students having fun with evolution debate in the 1920s. US soldier with new friend, World War II. US troops on top of captured German railway gun, World War II. Vaudeville Theatre, 1905. White House lawnmowers, 1918. Woman with her motorcycle, Detroit, 1920s. Young ice skater with safety cushion, 1933.